In the vast plains of Kenya, where tall grass ripples in the wind and predators lurk within the brush, baboons travel in large troops that can number as many as 80 or even 100 individuals. They are profoundly social animals, organized in rigid hierarchies that determine not only who gains first access to food or to the best resting sites, but also who protects and who obeys. The routine of these primates begins at dawn, when the first golden light of day bathes the savanna. After spending the night high in trees or on rocky crags that shield them from nocturnal predators, the baboons descend to the ground in search of food. Their diet is opportunistic and varied: roots, fruits, insects, and when the chance presents itself, small vertebrates such as lizards, nestling birds, or even rodents. Throughout the day, social relationships mark every instant of their existence. Infants remain close to their mothers, climbing onto their backs as the troop moves forward. Adult males, imposing in size with canines visible even when their mouths are closed, scan the surroundings, alert to any suspicious movement among the grass. The stealth of leopards and large birds of prey demands constant vigilance, and the baboons answer each threat with harsh, coordinated calls that alert the entire troop. When danger draws near, it is striking to see the males cluster together to confront it, hurling stones and branches, a display of tactical intelligence that few species in this environment possess. As the midday heat intensifies, the troop seeks shaded areas where they can rest and groom, an essential behavior that keeps their fur free of parasites while strengthening social bonds. Disputes over rank and leadership are frequent, and alliances may shift within mere days. At dusk, as copper tones flood the landscape, the baboons return to the elevated refuges that will shelter them overnight. In those last moments of light, the youngest scamper and play, while the adults nibble the final shoots before darkness falls. On this unforgiving savanna, each day is a delicate balance between cooperation and rivalry, the search for sustenance and survival against predators that never rest. Within that same dusty, merciless setting, a pride of lions lies hidden among the yellow grass, stalking from afar. The Kenyan savanna, parched and powder dry, offers scant cover, yet the great cats know how to vanish into the tawny vegetation. From the shadows, their eyes track a young black rhinoceros that has strayed a few meters from its mother. The opportunity seems tempting. Lions seldom challenge such formidable prey, but an isolated calf could tip the odds. The predators advance in silence, closing the distance, yet their approach does not go unnoticed. The mother detects the danger before it is too late. With a sudden charge, she places herself between the lions and her calf. Her massive body and menacing horn command respect, even from the most fearsome felines of the savanna. The lions, weighing the risk, halt. They know a rhinoceros charge could exact a steep price. After a tense pause, the cats retreat, slinking away in search of weaker prey. Soon their focus shifts to a giraffe calf, whose fiercely protective mother unleashes incalculable violence whenever her offspring is threatened. A single kick can kill a lion, so the pride must act with cunning. They maneuver to separate both mother and calf from the herd, sowing panic and confusion. The lions strike swiftly. One lunges, another repeats the attack, and the giraffe's terror mounts. With her eyes meters above the ground and unable to distinguish her assailants clearly, the mother lashes out with a violent kick that strikes her own calf instead. In that instant of chaos, the predators seize the advantage, certain the kill is theirs. Realizing that resistance without her calf is futile, the mother gallops off, not daring to look back, while the lions halt their pursuit to revel in their feast, securing yet another day of survival in this savage ecosystem. Night settles gently over Kenya, cloaking the savanna in dense darkness that muffles the last daytime sounds. The heat dissipates, and as insects reclaim the soundscape, predators begin to move. Fortune does not smile on the lions for long. Every successful hunt invites the danger of rivals eager to steal the reward. A low, rasping growl announces the arrival of several spotted hyenas. Their noses do not deceive them. There is food to plunder here. Both groups regard each other in the gloom. Neither wants a fight, yet neither can yield. The hyenas, confident in their numbers and audacity, advance with little caution. The lionesses weigh whether to stand firm or relinquish the carcass. The tense hush shatters as the lionesses charge first, determined to defend their prize. The hyenas scatter but do not flee outright. The skirmish lasts only minutes. When the violence subsides, scattered remains and the heaving breaths of the victors are all that remain. This time, the hyenas fail to dislodge the hunters. But on the savannah, no victory is ever final. Thus passes another night in the Kenyan savannah, where predators share the same ground, cross paths, and watch each other warily. Each strives to avoid needless risks, for here survival also depends on knowing when to withdraw. Danger lurks everywhere. No animal can drop its guard, and none is guaranteed survival, for the beasts that roam this land have honed their techniques over generations. Cheetahs, masters of stalking and pursuit, exemplify how physical prowess alone is insufficient. Their kills are never left to chance. Sometimes a mother with dependent cubs patrols the stands of tall grass where young gazelles venture clumsily. She does not sprint immediately. She slips through the grass, studying the herd's movements, waiting for one youngster to drift far enough to lose cover. When at last a young gazelle separates, the cheetah launches a brief, brutal chase. The gazelle zigzags in panic, but the cat's speed is overwhelming. Within seconds, a swipe brings the prey down, and one precise bite ends the hunt. While the savannah's predators struggle to survive this lethal environment, deep in Kenya's forests, another equally relentless battle unfolds among the high branches and dim foliage. Here, chimpanzees, though not classic predators, rule their territory with a hierarchy as strict and defined as that of any carnivore. They govern their borders firmly. Any intruder who crosses those lines risks a violent response. They do not repel only other species. Clashes between neighboring chimpanzee communities are brutal, with patrols venturing out to catch rivals unawares. Though the forest offers abundant food, the high population within each group makes territory a prized resource, and leaders contest its control constantly. Despite their genetic kinship with other primates, chimpanzees show no mercy. They are methodical hunters, and when they capture a colobus or a smaller monkey, the violence they unleash is not driven solely by hunger. The subdued animal is pounded against the ground again and again, even after it ceases to move. Before the community's eyes, the aggressor reaffirms status, demonstrates the power to destroy, and projects dominance with every blow. It is not merely prey. It is a raw display of power, where instinct overrides any hint of compassion. In this wild realm, diplomacy is non-existent. Action erupts instantly, and chimpanzees battle for territory. Common tactics include direct bites that tear flesh with sharp teeth or brutal punches delivered with clenched fists. Ambushes are frequent, surrounding a rival from multiple angles before lunging with ferocity. Now a scream cuts the tension, short, sharp, and within seconds others echo from different parts of the forest. They are warning calls. Two communities have converged in the same zone, and neither intends to back down. From the highest canopies to the leaf-littered floor, the sounds multiply. There is no hint of truce. Violence explodes without preamble. Compact bands rush their enemies, biting, tearing skin with dagger-like teeth. The ambush is swift yet effective. Some chimps encircle stragglers from several directions, trapping them without escape. Screams turn more desperate, and amid the chaos, a body crashes to the ground, covered in soil and dry leaves. At last, the survivors flee through the trees, knowing that remaining would mean ending like their companions, dead, dismembered, or abandoned beneath the canopy. With victory behind them, this troop asserts its dominance. They have learned sooner rather than later that survival demands the use of violence and brutality whenever opportunity arises, eliminating unwanted presences to restore the group's order. In the dense jungle, a lone chimpanzee moves among branches searching for fruit for its troop. Venturing deeper into the thicket far from his companion's protection, he nears a darker zone where danger lurks. A python, camouflaged among the roots, watches silently. It lies motionless, scarcely perceptible, its eyes tracking the approaching primate. When the victim comes close enough, the snake strikes with lightning speed. In a blink it launches, coiling powerful loops around the chimp's limbs. Startled, the ape struggles, but the python has already encircled him, tightening inexorably. Every effort to break free proves futile as the serpent's deadly embrace saps the chimpanzee's strength. The scene unfolds in an instant, and the jungle, indifferent as ever, resumes its rhythm. No one else will learn that this chimpanzee will not return. A patient predator, the python ranks among the region's most formidable snakes. Its body, capable of reaching lengths between 4 and 7 meters, blends perfectly with its surroundings, moving with agility that belies its size. As an adult, it can weigh up to 100 kilograms, a mass that allows it to consume substantial meals. After a large kill, such as a chimpanzee, a python can store up to 25% of its body weight in its stomach, enabling it to survive for weeks without feeding, an advantage that lets it remain motionless and hidden for long periods, reducing exposure to predators and competitors. Regarding reproduction, the python's breeding season begins between August and October, when climatic conditions are most favorable. The species is polygamous, and it is common for a female to mate with several males during this period. After copulation, she will deposit between 20 and 50 eggs, incubating them for 2 months in an improvised nest at the base of trees or directly on the ground. During this time, the female stays near her clutch, regulating nest temperature through muscular contractions. Though this process lasts no more than 8 weeks, it testifies to the snake's protective instinct. Once they hatch, the young depend entirely on themselves from the first moment, with no parental care thereafter. This life cycle underscores the python's adaptive nature, refining both its hunting prowess and its ability to ensure its lineage in Kenya's fiercely competitive jungle. In the same tropical setting, where humidity beads on every leaf and sudden rains can burst from cloudless skies, life proceeds unyieldingly. Kenya's tropical forests, such as Kakamega, are realms of dense vegetation, interlaced canopies, and the ceaseless hum of insects, where adaptability is key to survival. Here, the white-bellied pangolin glides with stealth, almost invisible to an untrained eye. This solitary nocturnal mammal emerges at dusk in search of food. Its diet consists mainly of ants and termites, which it captures with a long, sticky tongue that can extend up to 40 centimeters. During daylight, it shelters in tree hollows or among branches, curling into a tight ball to rest. It can ingest up to 200 grams of insects in a single night, a notable quantity given its small size. The pangolin's most distinctive feature is its coat of keratinous scales, a natural armor that allows it to roll into an almost impenetrable sphere when threatened. This evolutionary adaptation shields it from predators such as leopards and large raptors, who often abandon their attack when faced with this living fortress. The scales are so tough they can withstand direct bites from medium-sized predators without damage. Despite its clumsy gait, the pangolin boasts an acute sense of smell, capable of detecting insect nests several meters away. It relies more on scent than sight, as its vision is limited. Thus, within the forest's intricate web of life, this curious animal stands as an emblem of adaptability, slipping silently through the shadows and reflecting the richness and fragility of the biodiversity inhabiting these regions. Yet Kenya's landscapes shift rapidly. Beyond the humid forests, where moisture clings to the air, vegetation yields to wide expanses of dry, golden savannas. In these open, exposed plains, unobtrusive yet remarkable species find ways to survive. Here, the African starling, easily overlooked among the grasses, reveals abilities far beyond what its appearance suggests. The African starling, in its most intriguing expression, has evolved an almost incredible capacity for imitation. This skill, seemingly a mere curiosity, has deep roots in survival. In such a dynamic, perilous environment, where predators prowl and hunting opportunities are scarce, the starling has learned to deploy foreign sounds and voices for its own benefit. Imitation serves not only as communication but as a vital tool that confuses predators. By mimicking the calls of larger animals and even the cries of raptors such as eagles, starlings can plant doubt in an attacker's mind. This ingenious tactic allows them to dodge danger, for predators, unsure of the sound's source, may hesitate long enough for the starling to escape. Imitation is not directed solely at enemies. Starlings also employ it to confuse their peers. In a world where social hierarchies and competition for resources are constant, a starling that tricks another with a call gains advantage. Sometimes imitating a female or a member of another species disrupts group dynamics, creating confusion and disadvantaging competitors, thus granting the mimic a more favorable position. What might appear a harmless prank is, in fact, an essential weapon in the struggle for survival, where the craftiest stand the best chance of prospering. While some creatures rely on sonic deception to pass unnoticed, others cannot hide. In the open stretches where every glint of light exposes the vulnerable, the peacock strides forward and its plumage makes no concession to stealth. This singular bird, which inhabits open lands and scattered woodlands across various regions of Kenya, cannot conceal its presence. Its measured, watchful gait among grassy clearings and thickets betrays a bearing that transcends all attempts at discretion. From the very first glimmer of light, his plumage bursts against the landscape. The male's tail, really an array of elongated coverts, fans out during the breeding months, a succession of metallic ocelli that seem to watch the surroundings. Every shift of the wind, every step he takes, trails an undertone of impossible colors. In the half-light beneath the trees, that glow serves a precise purpose. It is neither decoration nor evolutionary mistake, but a tool that, despite giving him away, still makes the difference. That plumage turns into a weapon of persuasion. During the mating season, males stake out open areas where they wait for passing females. That is when the display begins. They shake their tails, bristle their dorsal feathers, and produce a dull, almost imperceptible sound, whose frequencies reveal their vigor. The ocelli align like motionless, watchful eyes. The females, in more subdued plumage, cross those spaces, deciding which individual possesses not only the brightest array, but also endurance, rank, and the capacity to persist in that environment. Clashes between males, though rarely fatal, can lead to pursuits, pecking, and grappling. Raw strength is not what defines dominance, but perseverance, size, and the brilliance of feathers that weigh them down, hinder escape, yet make way for offspring. Despite the evident disadvantage of carrying such an ornamental display, the peafowl has survived in its natural habitat thanks to pockets of dense vegetation and constant vigilance. Most potential predators are stealthy mammals, snakes, or mid-sized birds of prey, yet its body structure and keen eyesight allow it to detect movement at a distance. When danger approaches, its first resource is a swift dash and, if necessary, a short vertical flight to the nearest trees. At night, peafowl rest on high branches, grouped in small bands that reduce the risk of being caught on the ground. Beneath that facade of ornamental calm, their daily life demands alertness, opportunism, and persistence that never yields. While some creatures flaunt extravagance to seduce or impose, others carve out a niche on the harshest margins of the savanna, where survival depends not on beauty but on stubborn endurance and scarce resources. In the dry, sun-scorched regions of northern Kenya, a slender figure with an unhurried gait crosses dusty terrain. The baser oryx, with light fur and unmistakable straight horns that can reach almost 1 meter in length, moves with ease, seemingly oblivious to the constant tension of its surroundings. Its presence adds a different dimension to Kenya's ecosystem, not for its showiness, but for extreme adaptations that let it withstand temperatures unbearable to others. This antelope can raise its internal body temperature to 46 degrees Celsius without damage, avoiding excessive water loss through sweating or panting, an essential advantage when waterholes shrink to muddy puddles. It can metabolize the moisture sequestered in the shoots, roots, and dry pods it eats, allowing it to survive for days without drinking. Unlike other herbivores that rely on constant flight to escape danger, the oryx blends endurance with threat. Armed with those straight spear-like horns, it does not hesitate to face predators if terrain or timing grants an edge. There have been instances where a lion, confident in its prowess, received a lethal gore when attempting to fell one of these antelopes. That ability to return violence makes the oryx a distinct presence among Kenya's fauna, where most peers depend solely on speed or camouflage. Constant vigilance by the dominant male and cooperation among group members are essential to the oryx's survival in so demanding an environment. Every movement is designed to anticipate and reduce risk, yet apparent calm in the landscape can lead to distraction. On the savanna, even the slightest straying from the herd can expose the young to mortal danger. A young oryx, unaware of the ever-present watch that unfolds around it, wanders beyond the protective circle. Ignorant of risk, it drifts from the group. Still unsure on its legs, it approaches the edge of a stagnant river, the murky water inviting thirst to be quenched. But youthful naivety is soon noticed. From the waters, a cold-blooded predator with endless patience observes the calf's movement. The dark silhouette of a crocodile surfaces with the softness of a whisper, its heavy body almost motionless beneath the surface. The oryx realizes the emerging shadow's presence and tries to withdraw, but time has run out. With an almost imperceptible lunge, the crocodile darts forward, jaws clamping firmly on the calf's delicate leg. The force of the strike knocks it down, and in struggling to break free, the animal becomes ensnared. With a calculated, brutal twist, the crocodile begins its definitive attack, the death roll. This ancient motion, perfected through millions of years of evolution, is as lethal as it is precise. The crocodile does not merely latch on, it uses its powerful body to spin violently, dragging its prey through the water in a deadly spiral. The oryx calf, unable to escape, is caught in the relentless voracity of a predator that once more demonstrates the savanna's harshness. The Nile crocodile, a primeval, lethal predator, spends most of its life submerged in Kenya's calm waters. Its skin, plated in armor-hard scales, blends perfectly into muddy banks where it lies almost immobile, waiting patiently for the next victim. That stillness is deceptive, for beneath the calm lies a hunting instinct as sharp as it is ancient. Water is its home, but it is not confined to it. At times, after long hours motionless in its aquatic hideout, the crocodile crawls slowly onto rocks, seeking the sun's warmth to regulate temperature. Its behavior is meticulous and calculating. It does not act on impulse, but seizes each chance to move silently and surprise. During mass migrations, the crocodile becomes a privileged spectator of the savanna's movements. Like its waterbound peers, it need not chase prey constantly, knowing that in times of plenty, the most vulnerable creatures will fall into its jaws. It waits at crossing points where herds of wildebeest, zebra, and other animals traverse the water. There it unfurls a unique skill: patience. With eyes barely above the surface, it watches animals pass, and in the blink of an eye, launches a lightning strike. The force of its bite is unmatched, capable of snapping bones with ease. The crocodile is by nature solitary. Although several reptiles can be seen together in some areas, this does not imply social life. Each remains in its territory, patrolling the banks and confronting any intruder that ventures close enough to be devoured. Territorial mastery is crucial, for where there is food and refuge, there is survival. The crocodile's eyes, placed atop its head, are designed to detect even the slightest movement in the water. Equipped with a special membrane, they see clearly both below the surface and above it. This advanced vision can spot prey or danger at astounding distances, even under low visibility. Robust and precise, the crocodile's ocular structure has evolved over more than 200 million years, granting a light perception ability few animals share. A living testament to a prehistoric era, the crocodile has remained almost unchanged for more than 200 million years. Its shape and behavior, refined by evolution, have made it an exceptional hunter. Though perfectly adapted to aquatic life, it retains the aggression and cunning that have turned it into one of the planet's most feared predators. On Kenyan riverbanks, the crocodile lurks in still waters, while in the sky, distant, elevated, an equally lethal gaze fixes on the horizon. Their domains never overlap, yet nature has shaped both predators with the same efficiency, patience and violence. The peregrine falcon, from its lofty perch, is an arrow descending with deadly precision. The difference lies in direction. One stalks beneath the water, the other dives from the sky. But both share the quality that makes them fearsome, a perfected predatory instinct able to turn a single movement into a lethal ambush. Capable of reaching speeds of up to 320 kilometers per hour in a dive, this compact, tapered raptor has honed a hunt that relies as much on precision as on sudden violence. It need not announce its presence or prolong pursuit. From heights unseen by other animals, its eyes, tuned to detect prey at distances exceeding 3 kilometers, fix their target with unwavering clarity. That sharp vision, coupled with aerodynamic prowess, makes each hunt brief, almost imperceptible to anyone not watching the sky. During the breeding season, it prefers to nest on cliffs, rock faces, and ancient outcrops that rise above the savanna, elevated points from which it surveys its territory and avoids ground predators. On land, prey remain alert to dangers emerging from brush or behind stones, yet rarely anticipate a threat descending from above. A rabbit, skirting the edge of a clearing, wary of ground predators, does not perceive that the falcon has begun its descent. The fall is clean, vertical, air barely slowing the bird that uses speed as its greatest advantage. The impact is brutal, yet never haphazard. With sharp talons and refined technique, it strikes mid-flight. In most cases, first contact is enough to immobilize or kill before the prey touches ground. It is those talons, not solely the impact's force, that tear the animal, provoking instant death by trauma and internal rupture. No prolonged tussles, no extended chases. Its violence is swift, precise, and vanishes as fast as it came. This hunting method, unique among the raptors of its range, lets it maintain broad control of its aerial territory without constant clashes with other predators. The peregrine falcon, unlike other Kenyan hunters, benefits from the sky's emptiness, where it seldom finds direct competition. Nonetheless, it coexists with species such as the martial eagle or the African goshawk, though each keeps preferred prey and altitudes, limiting conflict. Its life unfolds in long flights, watchfulness from advantageous heights, and those lethal dives that interrupt within seconds the routine of any creature daring to roam without looking up. If Kenya's sky becomes a hunting ground for the peregrine falcon, the earth is ruled by a completely different force. Over sun-baked plains, the African elephant advances with heavy steps. These giants of the savanna dominate the land with imposing majesty. Adults exceed 6 tons in weight, and a single footfall exerts pressure capable of crushing the skulls of predators such as lions or hyenas with ease. Unlike other herbivores that almost always choose flight, elephants do not shy away from conflict if threatened. They cluster together, shield calves with a wall of massive bodies, and confront any aggressor, including crocodiles prowling muddy watering holes. A Kenyan elephant's dawn is dictated by an unending need for food and water. They can consume up to 150 kilograms of vegetation per day, moving across dry savannas, thorny scrub, and intermittent riverbeds in search of fresh grass, bark, and tender branches. Yet, this coming and going is not random. Elephants undertake organized migrations spanning vast stretches of landscape, carefully guided by matriarchs who know by heart the safe routes to seasonal water sources and refugees. Their ability to recall routes and territories over decades, even after long droughts or environmental changes, reveals exceptional memory. Elephants can recognize faces, identify allies or foes after years apart, and solve problems collectively. They have been observed using branches as tools to swat insects or clear paths, and adjusting behavior when environments change or new threats appear. This social and spatial intelligence secures their survival and reinforces herd bonds, making each journey a shared work of experience. Throughout the year, Kenya's elephants embark on migrations driven by scarce resources and mating cycles. During musk, a period of heightened male aggression, violent clashes erupt between rivals, not for spectacle, but for mating opportunity. These disputes are not constant, yet when they occur, no other animal dares approach. Victors mate, and afterward the herds resume their trek toward new lands, where the cycle of food, water and conflict repeats time and again to the harsh, eternal rhythm of the African savanna. In their steady passage through vast grasslands, the herd faces an unpredictable terrain's challenges. Yet the threat that looms now is of another kind. On the arid path toward more promising ground, elephants meet an unexpected danger: a clan of hyenas. The herd has crossed into enemy territory, and as they press onward, hyenas stalk, seeking a chance to strike at a vulnerable elephant, whether calf or weakened adult. The herd keeps moving, but on the most exposed flank, a calf slips, losing footing on dry soil. The moment is fatal. Hyenas know a calf is easy prey, vulnerable to numbers. They advance, intent on taking the young elephant. The herd reacts instantly. Adults, guardians of their lineage, regroup at once. Matriarchs position themselves around the calf, forming a nearly impenetrable wall of bodies. The largest males flank the young. Hyenas approach, weighing risk. They did not expect such resistance. With each step, the herd grows tighter, fiercer, a true front of force and unity. The hyena's first attack meets an unexpected answer. Elephants do not merely defend. With uncompromising firmness surpassing brutality, they move toward the hyenas, which begin doubting, retreating. The strength of an adult elephant is unparalleled. A single footstep can pulverize a hyena with little effort. One by one, hyenas feel the herd's power and, realizing the hunt's price is too high, withdraw, fading into the savanna. Days later, exhausted, hungry and thirsty, the elephants at last reach their destination. A vast green territory rich in the resources they so craved. Water flows abundantly, vegetation spreads before them like a lifeline. The herd has survived the peril, but most significant is that the calf has also survived. In that moment, not only is one generation's survival assured, so too remains alive the possibility of another. Unlike ecosystems where sun and scarcity are permanent, Kenya manages to sustain balance in all its facets, allowing a diversity of species to emerge and coexist thanks to plentiful food and resources. Yet wild Kenya has two faces: its wealth of resources and the daily risk of defending what has been earned, sometimes by timely flight, sometimes by constant violence and peril. From Kakamaga's dense tropical forests to the Masai Mara's open savannas and the dry northern zones, this country is a mosaic of unpredictable environments where abundance and danger coexist without respite. There the leopard slips through shadows with stealth, and the python waits unmoving in the undergrowth, reminding all that in Kenya any moment of calm is but a fleeting truce. Even chimpanzees, animals historically removed from direct food disputes with apex predators, have learned to read environmental signals, understanding that in this land, survival allows no negligence. Every creature, from the most lethal predator to the wariest prey, knows that the true law is neither strength nor speed, but the capacity to survive in a world where everything can change in an instant. And as the sun sinks behind the ragged horizon of acacias and hills, jungle and savanna fall into tense silence, knowing that with darkness the struggle begins anew.